Oh boy. Oh boy, guys, we're here. We made it. Ooh, I already went into detail about my opinions on the quartz discussion, and a lot of people didn't like my opinion. A lot of people didn't like it because centurions are better. So let's look at that. Extremely high HP and attack stats are sometimes useful. Only sometimes. Only sometimes. Only sometimes is having a shit ton of HP useful. Attack stats are sometimes useful. Yeah, man, if only operators had high attack. I wish they did, because that would be sometimes useful. S2 has a decent stun despite RNG. Whoo boy. The thing is with a lot of people with how they judge quartz is that they don't look at her S1. They see that it's a generic. They see that it's attack up alpha, right? Attack up alpha? Attack up beta. And they go, that's a generic skill. Generic skill bad. But S2 good. S2 always good. S2 is always better. That's why I use Jackie's S2 and not her S1. Crit skills are bad. That's why I use Bee Hunter's S2 instead of her S1, because S1 is bad. How about you talk about the fact that this overcomes defense thresholds really fucking easily. Crushers are really, really good at being physical damage attackers against pretty decent defense enemies. And a lot of people are going to say, just use arts attackers. Can't really do that all the time, can you? Have you played Chapter 9? Yeah, the fucking Dublin infantry fuckers? Yeah, they're not very much fun, are they? S1 is plus 50%, and I think it's plus... I want to say plus 100% on wind chimes. I want to say plus 100%. But yeah, attack up beta is plus 50% on a crusher, because that's what my quartz is at. And she has... My quartz, I have quartz open on my other monitor. 1,146 attack. She goes up to 1,776 attack with S1 uptime. And the S1 uptime isn't even that bad. It's a 37-second charge with a 25-second duration. That's like a 40% uptime. Because the main issue with that is a lot of people are like, oh, crushers have bad attack speed. And it's like, yes, that's to balance out their high attack. It's so you can overcome moderate to high defense really easily. That's the point of quartz. That's the point of wind chimes. I remember She4, in your clear of 718, wind chimes did 3,000 fucking damage to Patriot. Physical damage. That's the point. The high attack and the low attack speed. The low attack speed is to balance them out, which sounds crazy because 6-stars don't have balancing mechanisms. They just only have upsides. But in normal game design world, they have downsides to make up for that. So high attack stats are sometimes useful. High attack stats are always useful. That's not true, not always, but a lot of the time they are very useful. It is pretty much always better to have a slower high attacking hit than it is to have low attacking rapid hits. Like 99% of the time, just because of how defense works. And again, S1 is also good. Generic skills are good. Just, complete lack of defense makes her very fragile. Probably more fragile than you think. Her high HP does not make up for it. Okay. As someone who uses crushers a lot, this is wrong. Her complete lack of defense does make her fragile, but only against rapid attacking enemies. Or even just moderate to rapid attacking enemies. That's what makes her fragile. On the other hand, quartz has really, really high HP. So imagine you have... So yeah, if you have like 5 dudes with 100 doing like 200 DPS each, yeah, quartz doesn't have the defense to tank that. Fair enough. But imagine if you have a tank that does... You have this giant boss that's going to do 2,000 physical damage to quartz. It doesn't... And typically has pretty low defense. Or that has really low attack speed, I mean. So this boss does 2,000 damage per swing. If you have that on... If you have a really slow, high damage attacking enemy, and you're using a protector to tank them, the Protector's effective HP is reduced since they're taking less hits, because defense is only useful by hit. So, if you're taking that 2,000 damage swing, it's 2,000 minus the defense, and that's the amount of damage you're taking. So that defense is added on to your effective HP. And so, if you have Quartz who might die in 2 shots to something that does 2,000 attack, a defender might also just die in 2 shots because defenders have pretty low HP in regard to their high defense. Now, that isn't always the case, but against pretty slow attacking enemies, it doesn't even matter if it's physical damage, Quartz can still tank it pretty well. The main issue is healing. That's the main issue when it comes to Crushers, and that's what a lot of people just don't like thinking about, because they associate Crushers with Centurions, and so they immediately think, Crushers are Centurions, therefore I'm going to use them like a Centurion, because they have the exact same trait. So they put them down trying to tank a bunch of mooks, trying to tank a bunch of peons, and that doesn't work, because they just don't tank. And so they don't tank like the rapidness. They can't tank rapid shots, they can't take non-rapid shots, because they do associate them with being AoE lane holders, like Centurions, when they're not. Centurions also have shit defense and have really low HP. Centurions die really, really easily to higher single target damage, especially arts damage. You don't use Crushers as lane holders unless it's mainly against, like, arts damage, and that's it. Other than that, the only downside to their survivability is the fact that they just suck when they just can't be healed. That's it. But yes, it's this mindset that Crushers are Centurions that leads to a lot of people not really understanding how they're supposed to be used. Crushers are better than Centurions against slower instances of damage. But skill issue. As mean as that is to say. Top chat flags and messages. Oh my. Live chat. There we go. They flagged Leaf saying that Crusher bad. Oh my, are we being censored, guys? Is Hypergriff in? Are they? Oh my god. Guys, we're being censored. Oh my gosh. Gamepress, they've come. We've been reported. But yeah, the reason why people don't like Crushers is because they think they're Centurions. They're not Centurions. They're not. This is a very, very stupid mindset to have. Quartz and wind chimes should not be here. Or should not be used as Centurions. They should not be. S1, lower DPS with less control than it. That's wrong. That's actually just wrong. Against something with 0 defense, sure. But did you forget that a whole upside of Crushers is the fact that they break damage thresholds? That's their biggest upside, is that they break through damage defense thresholds. Her S1 increases her attack. The reason why I don't like using her S2 is because it doesn't increase her attack, therefore it can't overcome damage thresholds better. Again, it's typically better to have rarer but higher attack damage than it is to have rapid but lower attack damage. So, what the fuck are you talking about? S2 makes her more fragile. Yeah, her S2 isn't good. I don't like her S2. It's not a very good thing. I don't like her S2. It's not very well designed for the Crusher archetype. And yes, the attack speed boost is nice, and the stun can sometimes be really useful. I have used the stun myself in my Frost Nova clear, but her S1 is the way to go. Low DPS, high DPH. DPS doesn't fucking matter, it's DPH. Damage per hit is what matters. Yeah, pushers have the exact same trait. And so it's like saying that, like, oh, yeah, Quartz is a terrible push stroker. She can't even push things back. It's like, yeah, because they're not the same fucking thing. Comparing Crushers to Centurions is like comparing Centurions to push strokers. That's how brain dead that is. Oh, and of course, 150 reg certificates makes her more expensive than other 4 stars. The fuck are you talking about? 150 red certificates is about 240 SP if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. Or not SP, sanity. 200, I think it's around 240 sanity. I could be wrong. You want to know what's a lot more expensive? Spending thousands of sanity, grinding 1/7 so you can craft a rundum so you can roll gacha. That's infinitely more expensive. So, yeah. Yeah, that's my crusher rant. That's my crusher rant. I will defend crushers. Replacing my Estelle with Shaw BRP. I don't want to read Windchime's description. You know what? I'm fucking gonna. I'm gonna. Because I already have read it. A long time. I have read it. A build-up time that can be awkward for incoming enemy waves. Between the build-up time and the SP cost, there's long delays between activations without a battery. 5 seconds is too fucking long. 5-second charge is too fucking long. Mjolnir, by the way, who has a 35-second charge, is perfectly fine. Yeah, I know I've already read it, because you guys are in the Discord, so you guys know. Stops attack for 5 seconds against shelter and attack slash for human styles. 5 seconds is too fucking long, guys. Yeah, 5 seconds does not work 3,000 damage Elite 2 level 40 against Patriot. That's nah. Just invest in Mjolnir, because Mjolnir doesn't have any block while he's charging, doesn't do shit while he's charging except act as a taunt, which means that he does literally nothing against melee enemies. And when you do activate his S3, you can't cancel it. So you're gonna end up wasting a lot of his uptime a lot. So yeah. Oh, should we actually read the overview for the Crushers so we can go on more Crusher rant? Windchimes is a fierce Forte mountain climber who worked as... I don't care. The Crusher archetype is a massive ball of HP and attack stats that suffers from 0 defense and slow attacks that can hit multiple targets. The slow attacks is good because it's to balance it out. Windchimes enhances these stats with her Mountain Traveler Talon, which increases her base HP and grants a Vigor effect when her HP is above a certain percentage. The Vigor effect can multiply powerfully with her Unchanging Rural Heart skill, a very unusual skill that causes Windchimes to stop attacking for a wind-up period. Unusual? Mjolnir is an EX. You put Mjolnir in EX. Windchimes protects herself with a shelter effect. Okay, apparently shelter and sanctuary are the same thing. Like they call it, I think they might call it shelter on CN or something, because shelter and sanctuary are the same thing. That's what I've assumed. And also gradually ramps up her attack before releasing in the final burst. Here's another situation of we're not going to talk about the S1 because generic skill bad, even though it's what, attack up gamma, which is like a 100% attack boost. We can look. It is 60%. Oh, it is attack up gamma, but it goes up to 100% at mastery 3. Oh, it's exactly the same. Wait, what? Attack up gamma. Attack up. Oh, so it is attack up gamma, yeah. So it can go up to 100%. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I kind of prefer shelter to sanctuary. I think sanctuary is a really weird keyword. But yeah, 100% at mastery 3. Let's ignore that. Guys, let's ignore that. Because we're talking about late game, right? We're talking about late game. That's all that matters. 1400 attack, that going up to 2800 attack? Nah, that's crap, guys. That's terrible. 40% shelter. Gradually increases to 50% when skill expires, 230 attack. 230% is an insane damage modifier, plus 50% on top of that. Mjolnir has 35, by the way, so okay. And unlike Mjolnir, Windchimes can do shit. and atrocious DPS. It's DPH. Crushers don't care about DPS. What matters is DPH. Against high defense targets, your Crushers are going to end up doing more fucking damage. DPS. When windchime stocks attacking during the wind-up period, the shelter effect does little to protect windchimes. 40% is insane. Ugh. Like, giving Sanctuary to Crushers is really, really good. Because it just increases their effective HP. 40% on top of already like 4,000 HP. 5,000. That's a lot. 5,000, bring out the calculator. 5,669 times 1.4. 8,000 effective HP. Yeah, it doesn't do much. 8,000 effective HP does fucking nothing. Would you rather it be defense? If it gave her defense, would you call it good? The stun is bafflingly brief. Who cares about the stun? The stun is not the point. For considering how long it takes to pull off. It's a fucking nuke. In many cases, you're way better off using your generic attack up Gamma S1 skill. No? Yeah, there are situations where the S1 would be better, but worst of all, Unchanging Roll of Heart is in no way makes up for the downside of the Crusher archetype. She tends to be extremely fragile. Unlike Centurions, due to their 0 defense and already has poor DPS due to their slow attack speed, but they have high damage per hit, so that's retarded. They are not this Forte's forte. You're so quirky. Ugh. Oh my god.